here. I'm just going to go and grab some water. Oh, I've got my water. There it is. I'm early today. I thought I was going to be late again. Been rushing around. I was actually watching Gathered Together Homesteads live. So I got so involved there. I didn't want to leave. It's pretty awesome. So I'm here now. I'm early, so no one's going to be on yet. So I just chat away to myself. And obviously playback people are going to see this part. They see the screen as well. So I'll just let anyone that's a new subscriber to my channel know that I also do a live on the Monday. The Monday live is a little bit different to the live today. Today's a normal YouTuber catch-up updates, that kind of thing, and maybe talk about a topic and we'll chat along. My Monday lives are actually hi Drunken Chef, hi there. I just said I'm actually on earlier than I was supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be on yet, so I'm just babbling away. So my Monday ones are a little bit different to today's one, and they are different segments, lots of little short, sharp segments covering all sorts of things. Sometimes I change the segment, sometimes I add to them just things like a bit of gardening, maybe a bit of cooking, a bit of tips, always jokes. We have jokes today and on Monday because everyone comes on my channel for the jokes. So lots of different segments. I talk about the past and just fun things. So lots of short, sharp segments on the Monday one. And this is my little chat. Oh, you bought me a coffee. Thanks, Drunken Chef. While you're there, seeing as I've started early, I've still not got my seat sorted. If you want to type a little bit about your channel, because I know some people on my channel might not know you. So if you want to just type, or I sort myself out, type a little bit about your channel, maybe something particular or a video you've got coming up or just posted. So have a little type away there and let people know about your channel. So I'll leave you to do that for a minute. Thanks to all those coming in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate that. Lots. So yeah, if you are watching this later, do read the chat as well if possible. I know some of you just like to play it back in the background and listen, but I always get anyone coming on my lives to type a little bit about their channel, and hopefully they get people from it. I must thank at this point Old Car Junkie, because he just made a video, I think it was today, I watched it today, so it's not that old, either today or a couple of days ago, where he thanked my channel, and I have been sharing his channel quite a lot. So he said he's got some new people. So there you go. So I always start this channel with my mood board behind me. So I'll go through my mood cards and tell you what sort of mood I'm in today. I've had a crazy weekend, very traumatic in many ways, and I still haven't quite sorted everything out. Health and other things, everything's broken down that could have broken down, and more besides. So I only just made my live on Monday and it's still a bit hectic. I just thought I'd watch something on YouTube before my live just to calm down a little bit. And as I say, I was watching another channel and got so into it. I was like, oh, I've got to go, and because I have to type all my stuff in to come live. I don't do it like most other YouTubers. So Drunken Chef Barbecue says, my channel's about food. I do a lot of barbecue recipes, some how-to and some short or finished foods. I do taste test and also some lives here and there. And if I remember rightly, you're about to do or have just done a video on, oh, what is it? Not the ultimate burger. What do you call it? But it's I think it's a vegan burger you was going to do. What channel you just said? Something junkie. Old Car Junkie. Old Car Junkie, and it's junkie with a Y. He spells it J-U-N. Let me type it in. I can type. Old Car Junkie, and his name is Teddy. is who's there, because I think it's always nice to know people. You're Sean, aren't you, Drunken Chef? And if you are Sean, can you type it in anyway? Because I don't like putting people's names if I don't know how to spell them. So I know Sean can be spelled. I think you're an S-H-A-U-N. Are you Sean? Or am I getting you mixed up with the cruising guy? Maybe. Yeah, so check out Old Card Junkie. Mostly he's been doing lately, he's learning to draw and improve his drawings. He's doing mostly faces, but he's very interesting. His life's interesting. I don't know if you're into sort of people's background, but my goodness, he's come a long way in his life. He had polio as a child and an accident, and he's amazing just from that. And also he does obviously old cars, and he's fixing a car up at the moment. I'm not a car girl, so I can't remember what the type of car is, but he's doing a car up. And his job he used to do was amazing considering his background. Beyond Burger, that's it. See, I know this is where, I don't know if you know, I've got brain damage, and this is where it doesn't help. I kind of got an idea of things, but I don't quite get there. So that was pretty good memory for me. So yeah, my mood board today. Everyone calls me Chef. Okay, Chef. That's cool. I can do that. What do I think today? Certainly not that mood, nor that mood, nor that mood. Not that. Not that. Oh yeah, and this one today. I need therapy today. This is how I feel when you don't see me on the screen. Oh, that's me. Therapy. I'll just go and pin that up. Oh, that's me. That's my mood. That's my mood for sure. So I've got my stuff on the floor, just go and pick it up. As I say, wasn't ready. Okay, so I always say what book I'm reading. I won't show it because I've had it on for about the last few weeks. What book I'm reading. The book I'm reading is still the same one, so if you want to know, go back. It's summer now. Obviously, I'm outside and doing things in the garden. So I was actually looking through this book. Sometimes I like to pick up a book in between. This is called Schools Without Walls. It's in Greek because I read Greek, obviously. Schools Without Walls. And I'm into psychology and that kind of thing. And it's different ideas of psychology in schools and how to kind of bring teenagers and young people out of themselves. And so for me, that's very interesting. There's kind of different ideas to do in school, and there's all sorts of graphs and stories and situations and what to do in those situations, because it's teaching as well if you don't know. So looking through that, really, I picked this up second hand. It's obviously had some water damage because the pages, I don't know if you can see, they're a bit crispy. But I do love browsing and finding different sorts of books to read and learning different things. So that kind of went well for me, that I could practice reading Greek. It was a subject I'm interested in. I think that's the problem of language sometimes, learning a language, is that you want to read something of relevance, and sometimes it's very difficult to find something other than a learning book, like I want to buy a pound of grapes or I want to buy a kilo of grapes, this kind of thing. So although that helps you if you're living in a country to learn a language, I think the problem is you want to read a story or a book or about something you're interested in. I've got Greek books, lots of wildlife, so I'm learning about the wildlife in Cyprus, but reading in Greek. So I think this is something that's good. And I also watch a lot of YouTube in Greek, not with subtitles. There's a channel I watch where he makes things and has ideas, things to do and that. So things like that. And I always show you my cross-stitch project again. That is ongoing, nothing's changed with that. As I say, not been able to do any. So if I can't show you progress, I will show you something else I've got. And this is one I haven't started yet. So my sister bought me this some time ago. So it's very difficult. I can't do them in the winter because my eyesight's not very good and I need perfect light, not even a lamp. I need like daylight. And in the summer I'm either busy or I do try and do it lunchtime after lunch when it's siesta time. It's too hot to be outside, but I sit in the patio and that's the sort of time I would do things like this. So on to the jokes. Oh, this is something else I always read is newspapers and things, magazines, anything I can pick up in Greek. So I read that. And we do have English newspapers out here as well. Oh, look, the Cyprus vine. Can you see it? I think you can read all that. Let me see if I get nearer you. Rhubarb, rhubarb, rhubarb. And look how expensive that is. €20. And I'm in a time warp there. So if you like the newspaper, rhubarb, rhubarb, rhubarb. It's a word English used when there's like nothing to say. Rhubarb, rhubarb, rhubarb. Oh, look at the heading. 6 people caught in big public swindle. And I was walking along and there was a newspaper seller and he's saying 6 people caught in big public swindle. 6 people caught in big public swindle. Do you want to buy a newspaper? 6 people caught in big public swindle. And I went, oh, what's that about? He said, 6 people caught in big public swindle. Would you like to buy one? Oh, yes. So I bought it. And then he started shouting, 7 people caught in big public swindle. Oh, we must be on the joke section. That was a good way in, wasn't it? So, jokes for today. I have a few for you today because they're quite short ones. Sometimes I do long jokes and don't do so many. So, on to the jokes. When you have an x-ray at the dentist, are they called your toothpicks? What did the sea say to the ocean? Nothing. They just wave. Do you want to hear a joke about construction? Oh, sorry, I'm still working on it. Oh, laughing faces. Did you hear about the big fire at a campsite? It was intense. They're my sort of jokes for sure. You know you have to hold your sides here because I split with you laughing. What's the difference between an elephant and a Zippo? A Zippo's like a lighter for cigarettes. I don't know if that's a certain country thing. So what's the difference between an elephant and a Zippo lighter? One's really heavy and the other is a little lighter. I put in 10 puns into a joke contest to see if any would win. No pun intended. No pun intended. Like it? You have to remember these. You play it back, chef. You play it back. You play it back. It's simple. How do you measure a snake? Only in inches. They don't have feet. And by the way, chef, I think this is your first one you've come on mine, I think. Jokes are in every single live I've done, Mondays and Wednesdays. What does a house wear? address. Oh yeah, laugh out loud, just play it back. Yeah, sure. I took the shell off of a snail to see if it would move faster. It just made him more sluggish. I love that one. I love that. First time you live, yeah. I get mixed up when I see people in other chats, particularly if I'm moderating, and I have more of a chat sometimes if I'm moderating. And it's like, was that on mine or was it on someone else's? It's like where I meet people, I know where you're from, where I met you, but some people I'm like, where did I meet you from? How do you make an octopus laugh? Give him tentacles. Tentacles. I like the way I explain them as well. Yeah, I see you in Great Farmers Live. I think I met you in Jimmy's live. Let's give him a plug then. The astute tourist. Better type it in because he's so friendly. The astute tourist. Brackets Jimmy. That's who it is. I spelled it right. I think so. Yeah. So there's Jimmy. Where are we? Ah, here. 3 more. Did you hear about the cheese factory that exploded in France? There was a lot of debris. Debris, cheese. You'll know that. 2 more. You're in all over everyone's lives. Oh, can't believe that. What part of a room is warmest? The corners. They're usually 90 degrees. I amuse myself. Doesn't matter if no one comes on my lives. I have a good time. Last one. What did the duck say when she brought some lipstick? Put it on my bill. So there we go. Bit of humour to start today. You like that one? I like them all. I think I like the snail one out of all those the best. Because I like them when they're clever, not just a play on words, but clever as well. Because, yeah, take the shell off a snail. Sluggish, yeah, I think that one's brilliant, actually. Go me. I am a wordsmith. Okay, so catch up, really. What's going on in my life? Well, because this one's just the chit chat and the fun, I like to say Wednesday, Friends Day, because this is the day I chat more with everyone. So Wednesday's my Friends Day. Monday, we have more jokes and my little segments I call funny things. So I like to think of that as Monday Fun Day. But I'm also thinking on my other channel, I better type it in, my other channel, because I know new guys may not even know, is a bit hard because my keys on my keyboard are really hot. There we go. My other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. That's got some things that I do on my growing, not so much, more about crafts and animals and holidays here, as in I do Airbnb, I do work away. There's some things about that where you can come and help out for 3 hours a day and you get free accommodation. I also advertise on there my hobby holidays, so you can come just as a holiday, or you can come for a craft holiday, or horse riding holiday, or learn to dance holidays, all sorts of things. So, and also that channel, I like to put on things. It's my way of saving things. So I've got my long haul holidays that I did on there. So it's a way of collating things and keeping them on there rather than just storing them. I thought we'll put them on YouTube. Oh, my collections go on there. So I've got old bottles, old medicine bottles, old newspapers. I want to sell those really, so I thought we'll put videos up on each one of them, and then someone might buy those. All sorts of things. As I say, it's like a little saving bank for me. And I've just put a video up today, 30 different ways to fold napkins, so that might help someone. All sorts of things on there. So I'm thinking about, because I've now got Monday and Wednesday here as a set time, I did start off doing lives just random days, random times, and they just pop up. So I'd like to actually do that again, and particularly because some people might, like me, I like to be on an actual live happening, and if these times don't suit them, then they can't do that. So I'm going to go back on the other channel, Tranquility. I've got cat wanting to come in, and do random days and times. I say random days and times, I'm actually going to do Thursdays, but not every Thursday to start with, because as I say, I'm quite busy at the moment, but I will put one up very soon, live. And I know a lot of my Australian friends particularly can't always make this time. It's a difficult time, and I understand that, because most of the American channels are completely different times to me as well. So if they say I've got one in the afternoon, that's like my night. So I can really only watch mostly the ones that it's American morning, and for me that's lunchtime or early afternoon. So on Tranquility, I'm going to do one, and I'm going to call it Thursday Thoughts. That's why it's got to be on a Thursday. But for now, it won't be every Thursday. So I'm going to do that. As I say, I don't know where I'm going to do it, but if everyone hits notification bell, it will pop up when I've gone live, literally. And that's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do more of a positive, safe, happy place. Not that these aren't, but more not serious. We're going to have fun, but more for those who want to get some life quotes or positivity, inspiration, creativity. So I'm basically going to call it Tranquility, Thursday Thoughts, Positivity, Inspiration, Creativity, making each day count while appreciating the wonders of nature. Because tranquility, as the channel says, through life's natural beauty. So it's going to be a happy place, and like Drunken Chef Barbecues on now, you might want to share on your channel because it's creativity as well. You might want to share either healthy recipes and we'll put your links up, or something like this, or healthy foods, all sorts of things, or just creating how to create food on a budget, anything at all. So it can be frugal stuff, it could just be creative, anything like that, because one of my main things is promoting and helping other channels. And sometimes I do that for the bad side of my channel that I don't do enough on my channel because I'm so busy helping, particularly channels that don't have many followers. And I've actually encouraged many people to even start channels, and have been the first viewer, because I know they're going to start channel, and also their first subscriber. And as I say, never forget your very first subscriber or viewer. And I've said before, I said it on Monday, I've got a list of my first 1,000 viewers. And I'd like, when I get to a big number, to actually celebrate them. I've got to think of some special way to do that. I haven't got money to send things. So if you're someone who's watched or subscribed for a long time that you don't leave comments, Do let me know if you think you're a long time watcher, because if I can't see you in comments, I'll have to assume you're not following anymore for some reason, and I don't want anyone to come back at me and say, well, actually, I've been watching your channel from the beginning. I can't know that, and I'm not going to promote someone that isn't still watching my channel. So if you feel you're a long time watcher or follower of my channel, do drop me a comment at some point, even if you don't normally leave comments, because I don't know, and I don't want to not promote you, but I'm not going to say names if I don't know they're still watching. So please do that. So that's really the biggest development at the moment. I'm going to do that, as I say, randomly, so everyone will have to hit the notification button to know when that's happening. And obviously on the other channels, you need to head over there and subscribe if you've not already done so. And I'll do it very soon. I mean, I'm just sort of thinking about, I've got to sort of plan a bit of content for that. And yeah, so I hope you'll like that. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd like to do, to follow another one. As I say, each of my lives are going to be completely different. I do have another channel as well, and it's not Mike's channel. I do have another one. Maybe at some time I'll do a live on that. I don't know, but we'll see. That's only a small channel anyway, so let's see where we go. Obviously, if people are watching it all the time, then perhaps I will do it weekly on that channel. We'll see. Updates. Oh, biggest update with the animals is, if you've been watching my videos, I had over 1,000 baby frogs and toads in my swimming pool, and I've been filming that. I think there's about 3 videos on that, from the mating of the big ones. I've got filming of them mating right through to, they're still literally the size of my thumbnail. They're just not really growing. They seem more froggy toady, as in they've had legs for a long time, but just more the way they move a bit more. So I'm rehoming them. So I've got to make a video up on it. I've got all the pieces now for it, so I've got to make that video up, and you'll see where I've put them, where they've gone. So that's what I've been doing all day, getting them out the swimming pool, and it took some time. There's probably a few still left in there, which I've left a bit of polystyrene in there, one bit, because I had a bit of old polystyrene in there, so if they wanted to get out of the water, being in my swimming pool, they couldn't get out. And so I've left that in there, so if there's any more, they can jump on there and I'll see where they are. So that's my main, what I've been doing. Goodness me. I filmed today in the garden my aubergines, or eggplants as most of you call them. Got so many growing there now. I'm so pleased with those. I've got 3 different varieties, no, 4 different varieties of those growing, and different colours and different shapes. So I'm pleased, because last year was my first year trying to grow them, and I only had 3 actual plants from seed. Everything I grow is from seed. So I grew 3 of them. I always do it like trial the first year, just to see what works or where it grows. And I grew them in a raised bed of my own compost. We don't have earth here at all. No soil, no earth. So I have to make all my growing compound. So I made all my own compost, grew them in there last year. And I had 3 quite small aubergines, because here they have a really long growing season. So this year I started growing them really early. In the end of our winter, I started them indoors. Didn't have any heating indoors where they were growing. And at the end, people were saying to me, you have to pull them out now, because once they finish, they finish. And I pulled one out, or started to pull one out. I thought, well, I'm not going to use this bed again. I'll just leave them. If they rock back, that's a good thing. And I pulled off the 3 aubergines. As I say, they were really small. And I thought, well, this is good. It's for seed, to grow them again. And I pried them open, got all the seeds out, put the seeds back in the ground. And you should see how many I've got now. I did buy some more seeds of different varieties, and they're doing well. So I filmed them today, And I like the marble one. It's like pink and it's marbly, really like a marble effect. That's my favourite one. It's really pretty. So the ones that grow under fruit so far are the one I started to pull out, the plant died because they don't like their roots disturbed at all. But the other two I left grew all leaves again, and they're pretty tall, sort of this tall, and they're the ones with the big fruit already on them. So okay, maybe some regions they can't regrow. Maybe if they have harsh winters or something, they'd just die off. But for me, they regrew. I didn't obviously prune them or anything like that, because things like peppers, you can prune right back and then they regrow the next year. For me, I know everyone's different and where you grow makes a difference. But yeah, I was really pleased with that. So as I say, I've sown some seeds. You'll see in my videos, the big plants are obviously the ones from last year, and the smaller ones are the ones that I've grown from seed this year, and already got flowers on the ones from this year. So I go around hand pollinating. We've got loads of bees and things like that around, but I always hand pollinate everything, because for me it's very important that everything produces. So I know you have to get male, female things, but I just go around with a little paintbrush. I've got videos before, I think my kohlrabi video, I show a lot of pollinating and how, if people don't know, how you can tell the difference between male and female flowers. Yeah, so if anyone's got any questions or anything, always ask me. As I say, I'm learning. Things seem to work for me the way I do it, and I do a lot of comparison growing. So what grows better in my hugelkultur beds, what grows better in my raised beds. As I say, I live on mountainside and there's no soil here. So I do grow some things in the ground, but not very much. And I have to build everything up. So yeah, there's that. What else have I? Oh, I've already harvested loads of zucchinis and squash already. You'll see a video coming up soon on that I've got to finish editing. So lots of that going on. I want to plant out tomorrow the last of the aubergines that I was growing indoors. Hi there, how are you? Digging for Health arrived. If you want to put in the comments something about your channel for any new people that watch later, you're very welcome to do that. I've just been on your channel before my live. If you want to say maybe about your channel, what's special about it or different. I'm doing great now you're here as well as Drunken Chef. Yeah, something about your channel or a video you've got coming up or one you've just posted, just something to entice people to come along to your channel. So you're very welcome to do that. I'm all about promoting other people's channels. We'll talk about gardening now. Yeah, so I've got to plant out tomorrow the very last of my aubergines. They're the ones if you've been watching my videos, that you saw me planting into the horse protein tubs. They're not tubs, what are they, like cylinder plastic things. They're quite tall. All right, friend, have to head out. Look, catch up to the channel. See you next one. Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it, Chef. And I'll see you soon. Thanks very much. Yeah. Is there anything you want to grow that you don't grow yet? I always say I want to do soft fruits. I've got tree fruits such as figs. They grow abundantly. I just wish I could send people seeds for things. You just look at a fig and it's reproducing another fig tree. Olive trees grow like that out here as well. There's always like little tiny ones growing around the main olive trees. Digging for Health says we enjoy organic gardening, permaculture, raising chickens. My husband and I are doing all of it with health limitations. So I'm trying to share that it can be done no matter your situation. That's what I love about your channel. I think that's when I first came to your channel, because that hooked me. Because if you know my backstory, very similar. money wise and health wise. And I don't know if you saw my one when I went back after my Homer episode, when I went back to my Hugel cultures that I hadn't been to for maybe going on 3 months, and I just transplanted a few things there and put seeds in, and then I did go to them for about 3 months, no water, no care, no attention, and I did a video how it transpired down there without anything. So I still say that is for me. I have to keep emphasizing this is what I do, my way, what works for me. I know we're all different, got different land. I've got no soil at all. I live on the mountainside. That's why I started really the Hugel culture, because you don't need as much stuff as you do to fill a raised bed. I mean, I love the raised beds and I do that in a very similar manner. But if that goes down too low, which is sort of in the raised bed, or my ones anyway. And I don't know if anyone knows, my raised beds were no cost to us at all. Here we can get free pallets, and good ones, they're like new, because you can go to places where they do like ports where they ship stuff and things like that, and they use them for packaging around cars and import stuff, and then they just throw them away. So try if you can go near a port or near an industrial area and get your pallets. There's, as we know, there's different types and some have been treated and whatever, so you do have to know the print on them, what's safe and what's not. So the pallets are all free to us. We lined them with the like tin roofing, if you like, the corrugated tin. We lined them with that. Again, that was all here. If you see my videos where we're renovating the derelict donkey stable, they were just on the floor everywhere, most of those. So we lined them with that. And then Josh's channel, which I talk about a lot, In Your Yard Homestead. I'll better put it down because people sometimes say, what did you say? With your strange accent. Oh, that's one word. In Your Yard Homestead. In Your Yard Homestead. And that is Josh. I'm always going on about Josh because he's been a great help to me in many ways. There's Josh. He did a video to show you, I think he was doing fencing or a chicken coop or chicken tractor, something like that. And he shows you a way where you don't need nails or screws. And I'm not joking, joining these pallets together is probably stronger. And I did link his video to that in my video. I think my one's how to build raised beds. I think it's that one where I say I've put the link in the description, and it's really good. No nails, no screws. So we've got old wire floating around, so they've cost us nothing. We've got a 5th one now Mike's made, and we've got loads of, I know you've seen loads of pet food bags from the stables where we help out at. I have the cat bags, but the big bags you see are from the stables, and we have lined that one with that as well as the tin. And I'm going to see if there is a comparison difference just by adding that as well, because it's going to retain the water. I don't put holes in bags when I grind them now. I used to, and I don't know if it was your video or someone else's I watched today, and they were saying about that now they don't put holes in pet bags and that kind of thing. Now at the bottom, they put them above the soil line. So if there's too much water, like rain, then it seeps out. But by not putting the holes lower in, say, plastic bags, the water won't be wasted. It will sit there and then you can watch your water line. But now I don't do that at all. I don't put any holes in. Remember, we're quite a dry country anyway. Obviously, if you get a lot of rain or something, you need to. So I don't put any holes in at all. And if you go out and you see it's a bit mushy, then you don't water. So it saves me watering. Have to check out their channel. I'll just say again, Digging for Health is organic gardening, permaculture, raising chickens, and she says my husband and I are doing all of it with health limitations, so I'm trying to share that it can be done no matter what your situation. 2 times. Have to check out the channel. Yeah, it's Josh. He's actually not at a property anymore, but he's gardening in the wild. He's in Australia, if you don't know. He's gardening in the wild, literally. I don't know what they call it there, like the outback. And he's just set himself up a little camp now. So in some ways, that's even more interesting because he's able to do everything with nothing, if you like. And the reason I promote him a lot is he actually went and stayed with Aborigines for a long time, and he learned all ways from them. And he's got so much experience with all sorts of animals, wildlife. His story's amazing. And he sent me lots of seeds. And when I say lots of seeds, I mean lots of seeds. He's probably provided me with 2/3 of my seeds for this year. So thanks, Josh. He's a lovely guy. If you go back, I don't know what number it is, it's quite a long way back, you'll see the thumbnail that looks like a man with a hat and a long ginger beard. If you look carefully, that's me being Josh. So do watch that one. It's really fun. It's really fun. So generous of him to give you so many seeds. He's amazing. He really is. I've been very lucky. A lot of people are able to do that. And I feel really bad that I can't send anyone anything or buy merch or anything. I really don't have any income apart from the tiny bit that YouTube has just sent me. And we won't go into that. If you want to know, go on Monday's one because they're really been duping me out of my money. But anyway, that was on Monday. Yeah, so he's amazing. I think he likes the way that I've just said about how he's like living in the outback now, sort of thing. And I think he likes the way that I'm living on nothing. I have no income. So I think he tries to help me in that respect. Very frugal lifestyle. Yeah. But I think with the pandemic and that, we were lucky because I'm very vulnerable, so I couldn't go out. So yeah, so really good, really good. I'm grateful to everybody. As I say, I'm grateful just for little letters from people, an email from people, because I can't expect people to be able to send or do things. I can't, so I appreciate that, which is why I try and help channels promote themselves. I feel that's the best I can do for people. Yeah, I know you're frugal. As I say, I love your channel. I look more for those. I've got quite a few channels in that respect that I really, really do follow. So yeah, there's some good channels out there. So yeah, there's that. I was going to talk today about my era. I love. I was growing up mostly in the 70s, and I still I think everyone thinks their childhood years were the best, but for me it was the 70s. And it turned out my actual year, as in whatever year I was in school, we ended up always being the trial year for different things. So I'll just talk about some of the things I wrote down quickly. I thought some things about being my age in my era and things that I end up being trial of. One of the things, I came from England, in case you can't tell, apparently people can tell. England. Please say England when you talk to me about where I come from. We don't like the other words. Thank you. Haven't done a video yet. We're working on expanding one of our gardens for free. Excellent. That's excellent. Yeah, as I say, on my growing compound, I've never had any soil or anything. So I just quickly wrote down things that I remember my age group. The first main thing was school in England goes infant school, junior school, and senior school. Senior school's like high school, and you go there about age 11. So when I was in infant school, first proper school, not like kindergarten or anything, proper school, and I had to go when I was 4. You normally go when you're 5, but where my birthday lies, it's from September. So if your birthday is September, October, November, December, round that way to Easter, then you actually do a little bit of extra school. It's just the way it works. It's silly. But anyway, so decimal was coming, money, decimal, and it was old money. So they decided, because they knew it was coming. Mike, do you know what year decimal came? I don't know if you can hear me. I think that was mid-70s. But they decided, because they knew it was coming, they weren't going to teach us money at school. And it worked out I was quite a bit older to learn money when it changed to decimal. So what they did is said, when it got to decimal, now we weren't infant school, I think we were going on to junior school or end of infant, I can't really remember. But they decided the best way to learn would be to have play money with the decimal. And I think all children got a box. It was like a cardboard money box with pretend money. And they had that, lots of those in the school given. And they said we would play shops every afternoon. That was great. But as I say, I can't remember what age I was. But we played shops. We were too old like to have play at school. We should have been learning. But they thought that was great. Hello, Danny Days. How are you? Danny, we're saying if you're coming in the chat, write in the chat something about your channel, so if people watch back later and don't know your channel, they might be inspired to pop along. So put something about your channel, or about a video you've just done or going to do, or maybe something that's a bit different about your channel, whatever you'd like to put, because I'm here for people. I was on your channel earlier as well. Oh, I was watching your live. I was like, I'm so sad I missed your live. Do you have an actual day or time, I asked you in that comment, when you're now doing lives? I know you pop on sometimes, but if you're a morning of my time, then I can watch it. I'd love to be on one of your lives. Yeah, so they let us play shop. So decimal messed up my age group, basically, of that. Something else, it's very different, I know, in America particularly. You'd be like, what? We've had that for years. But in England, school dinners, there wasn't canteen, like self-service, go along with the tray. You had to sit down, or you went along the counter and you all got a dollop of all the same food. You couldn't choose. That was school dinners, what we called school dinners. You used to take a tray along and you all got a dollop of mashed potato, a dollop of, you couldn't choose. And what it was that day, that was it. And then you walked along, got a glass of water, a cup of water, sat down, and you had to eat every single bit of every single meal. Can you imagine it these days? Can you imagine? There was no, I can't eat that, or you just didn't have tolerance in my day. I don't know if you lot know anything about that, but it was like I couldn't drink school milk. I was physically sick. I don't have a problem with dairy or anything like that. It was just the milk. And I think the problem was the little small milk bottles you used to get. You had it, I think we had it in the afternoon, yes, the afternoon. And then you got a little pink straw, and in the afternoon, I think the teacher would read something to you, and it was milk time. And you sat there with a pink straw, shoved it in, and you had to drink it all up. Now, in the winter, this crate that came into each classroom full of milk bottles had been sitting by the radiator all day. I think that's why I was always sick. No one else seemed to have an issue. And to this day, I can't drink milk. I just can't abide it. So my parents had to write a letter to say I was not to have the milk, and that was a big hoo-ha. Oh, everyone has to have milk. Da, da, da. Anyway, so when I was in senior school, high school, they suddenly said we're going to try, and our school was the trial canteen instead of school dinner where you take the tray along, and as I say, you had to eat it all. And it was fabulous because I think they got the concept from good old America, because the meals were burgers and hot dogs and wow, and fast food wasn't a thing when I was in senior school. I remember McDonald's came to England. When would that be? I was in high school, and the first one in England was near to where my dad worked, and he came and he said, right, I'm taking you to McDonald's. And we went, oh, what's that? And there was no concept of it. There was a burger place, Wimpy's. I don't know if you lot know Wimpy's. Is that American? I don't know. There was Wimpy's, but even Wimpy's, you had it on a plate with a knife and fork, and you took the tray to your table and you ate Wimpy's with a knife and fork. So when we got the McDonald's, my mum's like, oh, it's in a carton. Where's the plates? She asked for plates. Where are the plates? And where are the knives and forks? And knowing what we all know, that sounds really weird, doesn't it? But I remember that. It was a new concept. So when we're at the canteen, we now have the burgers and the fries. That was the first time we'd ever heard the word fries. It was chips. Now to you, chips are what we call crisp. We call, what you call chips, we call crisp. I love all these differences. Yeah. So I expect you lot all just grew up with all that stuff. I don't know when McDonald's first started. Do any of you know? Don't know if you know. Don't know when it came to America. It's funny. It's really weird. So again, that was another trial for me. For my era or my age of school was the canteen. So yeah. Let's read what you're saying. Just have a look, and I'll tell you what else was new to me. It was my age group was the trial. Oh, there's lots of comments. That's nice. You're all chatting. Oh yeah, Digging for Health, Andrea, isn't it? Andrea said, I haven't done a video on it yet, but we're working on expanding one of our gardens for free. I like that. I had to say it again. You have a much better memory than me. I hardly remember before 4. I'm scarred. I'm scarred for life. It's imprinted. Can't tell you about last week. I think with my brain damage, I haven't got dementia, but I think I've got something going on there. I can't find words sometimes, and I've got something going on up there. So yeah, I'm like living in the old times now. I think that's just old people anyway. I watched Danny's channel too. She has a nice garden, a new camera, a salsa garden, but she can't dance the salsa, neither can I. You want to go on my dancing channel? I teach you how to dance. Do you know I had a dancing channel? It's got all sorts, all different levels, all different things. Some's professional, some's fun. If you just want to have a dance around the room, all different styles, go in the playlist. Pick a style and then look through that as to what level you want to do. It's not just dancing, by the way, on there. There's some fun bits too. So that's my channel there. Danny says, my name is Danielle. Oh, I was like, yeah, I know, Danny. Oh, sorry. This is what I asked you to put up. Beg your pardon. I was like, well, I know. And it says it there. It's like some people say, when I go in the chat, oh, where do you live? That's in my channel name. Hello. Danny, my name is Danielle. I have a family-friendly channel where I vlog during my chores on the very small homestead I have. On my channel, I like to have fun. Yeah, and I like the one, I forget what the title was, but the one where I keep saying accidental homesteader, but that's what I call myself. Imperfect gardener or something like that. That's fun. I like that. I didn't like school milk either. No. I am most of the time in my garden or flower bed. I tend to sleep in a bed in my house. But I'm proud mama. I love my family, dogs, garden and chickens. Oh, that's lovely, Danny. That's super. I'm saying about on my other channel, I'm going to do a live, not every Thursday, but some Thursdays. So you have to hit the notification on my other channel. It's in the description below if you don't know it. And I'm going to do some Thursdays, and I've said at the beginning of this what it's going to be about. And you can both contribute to that channel. This is what you both do. Danny, I need to write this down. This is what I need. Danny Days Homestead goes live every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central. Right, let me get my chart of what on earth that means in my time. Central. I'm 8 hours ahead. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a possibility if I finish my dinner by 7 p.m. Excellent. I will try and be there because I'd love to be on your lives. So Andrew, do you have a set live time? I'm slowly making up a chart. I can't always come on them all, but I'm getting a chart together, and then if I'm free, I'll look, oh, is anyone going live soon? So if you've got a set time at all, do let me know. I can't do notification. I tell you all to hit the notification bell, but I'm only on my sad laptop. I don't have a phone or anything where ding. That's no good to me. Andrew calls them crisp too. That's interesting. What's your favourite flavour crisp? Quarter of the way to 1K giveaway. You're a quarter there. Fantastic. If you come on my other channel, Danny, I'll give you another sub on that channel. I tend to do that. If people sub any of my other channels, I'll give them a sub back through that channel. And you know I can't watch you again. Well, technically, I guess you could, couldn't you? But I don't. So you don't get more views from that. But April 15th, 1955. What is? Oh, McDonald's. I'll get there. Really? That old 1955? But then, yeah, you're the burger culture, aren't you? I wonder how the menus changed from that. Do you know that? Be really interested in that. Andrew says, I call fries chips if I'm eating them with fish. Yeah, because you don't say fish and fries, do you? Yes, that's true. If I'm eating them fish, but only when I'm eating them with fish. Cool. Oh, that's where it was. In San Bernardino, California, CA, isn't it? See, people don't know these things. California, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's California. Oh, that's where you was born. You Googled it. Oh, wow. That's brilliant. And he says, I don't know you had a dancing channel. No. I really started that because, if you know, my brain damage and comas and all sorts, and I want to show that it doesn't matter what your health or ability or fitness is, because I used to be a professional dancer. I couldn't even probably jump now. But I want to show that no matter what, you can do something. That's why I say I'm doing all sorts of levels on it. I've actually got one. There's a keep fit. It's not keep fit section. I think it says hoop dance and keep fit, because you can dance around with the hoop and make actions with the hoop that different health. So that's a great exercise one. So I think the hoop section says also keep fit and exercise or something. And I've done one in there where it's for people that are either bedridden or can sit in a wheelchair or a chair. So that's why I say I do all sorts in there. Most of them have filmed quite a while back because I've really stocked up a big amount. So I'm not as physical as even the sad physical levels on some of them. What else? Digging for health, Andrea. I have a thyroid condition, makes it hard for me to find words sometimes. Oh, right, that affects that. Is throat thyroid then, is it? But you're doing fantastic. You're a natural at making conversation. I can't do lives. Laugh out loud. Oh, I'd love you to do a live. It's for some people, they say it's scary, but they all said just going on and doing it, then it's okay. I must say, just literally that countdown, because I have to do mine a different way to everyone else, where I don't know how you come on. If you see a notification that says I go live, then you're straight on this. But when I put up that thing during the week of the countdown, it counts down and then there's nothing. It just stays as upcoming or something, because I tried to do StreamYard, but any of those things, this laptop's so old, it won't work that and everything else and blah, blah. So this is actually a second picture, the thumbnail the same. If you look back quickly, Wellfish, you'll see two thumbnails the same, but I take it down pretty soon. And the first one is just a countdown, so you know what date and time. But then as soon as that countdown's finished, I do put a message up to say, if you're on here, look for this thumbnail again, and that's where it's happening. So yeah, or do a test one, put on it test, and then you can come off after a few seconds or whatever, everyone know you just tested, and just talk. Or if you do StreamYard, find out how you bring someone on and they'll chat for you. So that's sometimes easier. But yeah, Mike, Andrea says, I'm a natural at making conversation. Micah say, yeah, I know. Can you just be quiet for a minute? I'm a natural at making conversation, but I can chat. He's laughing. Andrew says, my computer's lagging pretty bad. Going to have to go. Hope you have a fantastic day. Nice to see you. Thank you so much, Andrea, for coming on. That's brilliant. Fantastic. And he said, I think it's awesome you dance. I actually can dance. I was just goofing off in that video like I usually am. If I'm unable to do anything else on my channel, I want to at least make people laugh. You're doing great. Your gardening's fantastic. And I like the way you're showing your learning, because so many people don't show that bit. I like the way you show, and I know the turnip bit was a little bit of a laugh, but there was some honesty in that as well, wasn't there? So no, I think that's going to be your niche. Learn with me. I'm looking it up. Let's see. Let's go here. Well, let's see what happens if I do this. I think that could well be your niche on the gardening front. And that would pull people to you if you sort of put something in the title that this is how I'm doing it, follow along with me and let's see. So yeah, that's great. Or smile. I already have. You certainly have. I'm so glad I found you. Danny says, I was no professional, but used to be much better than I am. I was in gymnastics and dance coming up all the way through school. I don't like in America how the thing is that people, let's say they started dancing little, and then when they get to the end of high school and graduation, the dance schools expect them to either go off and do it as a career, or they finish. They still don't go to a dance school. That doesn't happen in England or here. You basically find another dance school, and in your spare time, if you're moving away from home, you still go. Or else, how can you become a professional? Oh, America, they don't do the professional qualifications. That's why then. That's why. But here, I mean, I had adults come in and they go with me, or they did go with me from little, all the way through teenagers, through going to work, becoming an adult, still coming dancing to adult classes, and then their children begin and then go through, and then the grandchildren, and so you have generations of it. But I see a lot of dancing channels in America, once they get to high school, that's it, it's finished. So I find that quite weird. Hi! Hi, Najama. Hello. That's the second time. I was just thinking, yeah, I did see you this morning because I put a link to your channel this morning, didn't I? Yeah. I'm saying if for your channel, put a little bit. I know you haven't got many videos up, but put a little bit about your channel. Type it in here, and then people watching later will see a bit about your channel. So pop that up. Danny says, I love to do that. It's difficult to find it here where the adults are able to dance. Yeah, yeah. Tom. Hi, Tom. How are you doing, Tom? We've not long been on your channel as well. Oh, we're talking about animals. What animal would you like to be? I liked your answers. Cool. The bigger cities have more the dance theatre and dance studio. Smaller towns, you move or you teach. Danny, I'd love to do theatre. I just live in such a small town. That's just what Tom said. Yeah, Tom, put a little bit about your channel up here. So type something in, tell people about what your channel's about or about a video you want them to come and have a look at. That's what this is about, this chat, to get people to maybe take a look at your channel. That'd be really great. So if you want to type something in, you're very welcome. So we're talking about other things that happened in my era or my year at school particularly. And one was, I've said to you, senior school is similar to your high school, and you get 5 years. You go there when you're about 11, and then you go first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year. You can technically leave at the end of fifth year, but that's mostly people who are not very good at learning. And then you can, what they call, stay on and do sixth year. And then you can stay on another year after that if you're smart and do upper sixth. Now, when you're in sixth year and upper sixth, because you could technically be going off to college or something like that instead, or find a simple job, you wouldn't be wearing school uniform anymore. And my school uniform, it was all girls' school, but we had a tie and we had a berry, you know what the French wear, but ours was maroon, little berry on the head. And if you were going out of school, as in swimming lessons, you had to wear the berry. But if you were going out on something more formal with the school, such as school trips, you had to wear the straw hat. And it wasn't a posh school or a paid school. It wasn't a paid school. It was a normal local school, but it had like high morals, and you had to look right and everything. And you had to wear the school blazer to and from school. You couldn't wear anything of your own. And if it was winter, you could still wear the blazer, or you could wear the school mac, which was like a grey, black, not black, a grey long raincoat, and it had a hood. No one wore the hood. So it wasn't a top school or anything. It was a normal local school. So we had that. And if, as I say, if you stayed on for the sixth year or the upper sixth, then they said because you could technically leave, you didn't have to wear school uniform. But there was a policy, obviously certain things you couldn't wear, like weird things, not that there was really anything much weird in those days. And what they said was you had to wear things that you would wear to work if you were going to work. So it wasn't like a fashion display. There wasn't anything I can really think of that you couldn't wear. Don't think you could wear jewellery. I didn't have pierced ears then. I don't think you could wear earrings or jewellery still. I'm not sure. I can't remember, because as I say, I didn't have earrings at school anyway. Because dancing, you can't wear earrings or anything, so there was no point having ears pierced. Anyway, so I went in the 6th year, and all was well and good. You could wear jeans. In those days, there wasn't holy jeans or anything. You had to wear smart jeans. So that was okay. Then when I went into the upper 6th, which I really didn't want to do, I wanted, because I knew I didn't want a job because I was going to be a professional dancer. So I didn't really need to, but my parents wanted me to have everything I could have at school, exams and that. So I loathed it. And we had a new headmistress, and she came in from a really rough, terrible senior school, and she was only the deputy there. I don't know how she got the job, but she came to our school as the head teacher, and she decided, even though the school, senior school she came from, had a uniform. By the way, all senior schools, or all schools, but particularly senior schools in England, have uniform. So just so you know, we don't have free wear in senior schools, and some other schools, like younger schools, normally had uniform, or at least you had to wear the right colours. But all senior schools had a uniform. Well, the senior school she came from, where she was the deputy head, they had no much more uniform than a grey skirt and a white shirt. And then she came rolling in and decided that 6th year and upper 6th couldn't wear jeans anymore. And my parents didn't let me have many clothes. It was you had summer clothes, winter clothes, not very many. You had a pair of winter shoes and a pair of summer shoes. That was it. So I didn't have many clothes like to choose from. And so my mum did buy me some jeans because they would last, and a couple of pairs of jeans, and they're for school then, because you don't want to wear your nice clothes. So and she came in and she said, right, can't wear jeans anymore. And I was like, well, this is what, and the policy of staying for the 6th year and upper 6th was we could wear jeans. No, can't wear jeans anymore. So that was devastating. So that changed for my year particularly. Oh, something else before that, in the 4th year or 5th year, can't remember, we had the first ever sweatshirts with the school logo on. There wasn't sweatshirts really for like you would wear for school. So that was a change. It's been good to see you, hear more about your story. Lovely. So that was something else for me, especially. What else? Oh, something else that has plagued me, as I was saying, for England and most countries, if you go to a proper dance association, there's several, and you have to work through all the grades and qualify and take your student teacher exam and your teacher exam and your examiner's exam and all that. I know America doesn't have that, maybe somewhere else, I don't know. When you become a teacher of an association, you pay an annual membership fee, which allows you to advertise your qualification initials of that association. When you've paid your annual subscription for so many years, quite a lot of years, then you don't have to pay any more. And every time I just got to that age group, they extended it, made it higher. And that happened 5 times. 5 times. So that was something else that hit me for my age, particularly. See, not really my age, because I qualified early, which you can't actually do. But I've talked about this before, I was actually put in higher age group classes all through my dancing lessons. I went to stage school and all that. So that's how I managed to qualify early. Something else. Now, I don't know if you have this in other countries. When I was a little child and you went to the dentist, but I don't think they had injections, to numb the area if you're going to have a tooth taken out. I don't know if it was an option, but the dentist I went to, he always put children with gas, with the mask on, and knocked you out completely. So I preferred that as a child because, kids and dentists and scary and all that. I would rather be out for any operation or procedure than be aware. I'd rather be out. Now, every time I had it, I get travel sickness really badly in a car or a coach, not on boats or that kind of thing, but a coach is my worst, or a car. Get really bad travel sickness. And every time I had the gas, I would come home and I would be violently sick. Violently. The worst sick I ever get. Actually, physically sick several times. And the first time my mum was in a panic. It was that bad. And I was only little. I can't remember how young I was, but quite little. And all I could do was lay on the sofa for the rest of the day. So we knew if I ever went to the dentist, I wasn't going back to school that day. And my mum felt so bad for me. She bought me like a little book of stickers and, to try and get me to do something. I just laid on the sofa all day, violently sick several times. The next time went to the dentist, she wasn't sure if maybe it was the gas and the travel sickness combined, maybe. Came home violently sick. So the next time I went to the dentist, my dad always took me. My mum didn't do hospitals or doctors or anything like that. Even when I cut my head open, she refused to come while I was having stitches. So the next time she got my dad to say, maybe you could inject her or something. He said, no, like a little child, I don't want them moving about this. Anyway, this went on. I don't know how many teeth I had out, but I know I went a few times, always violently sick. And that was the end of that. Many years later, there was a thing in the newspaper, the local newspaper, and it said this particular dentist had been done for over, like putting the amount, overdosing, if you like, children, the amount of gas. Oh dear, that kind of explains it. And I don't know if it got struck off or what. That's weird. And it always worries me as well what you hear about things happen to children these days. I just hope nothing happened to me, because your parent could go in with you or anything. I'm always like, he must have known. There must be an amount, or. Anyway, so that sent me a bit gaga, obviously. Anything else, particularly from my years? No, something else, how I say about you didn't hear with the drinking the milk, you didn't hear, and having to eat all the food at school, everything was put in front of you. You didn't hear in those days things. The only thing I do remember of differences was senior school. You always had assembly with prayers and religious songs and all that, always. And I do remember towards the end of senior school, there were 3 children that were new to the school, and every time it was assembly, they sat outside. That was my first sort of thing with that. But as I say, prior to that, no, everyone just did everything. I do remember in junior school, middle school, I do remember there, and something you would hear of these days, that my infant and junior school, it was in the school, you had to go to the nearest one. There was boundary marks, and it just so happened our house where my mum and dad lived, where we lived, the boundary mark was drawn, they thought, in the wrong place. Our house just got into, let's say, the less fortunate, the lower income people's area, and the better school was just outside the line. So I went to school with, it was what we called council estate in England, which was like the low income families and those that didn't really bother about anything, and they'd play out in the street and cause destruction and, that kind of thing. And so that was the infant and junior school I went to. So I do remember we would in the afternoon do PE, like games, sport, that kind of thing. PE, physical education, art, reading, more fun stuff in the afternoons. And a lady would come in, she was from outside, don't know who she was, and she'd knock on the door and she'd come in and she'd shout out the top of her voice, "Slow readers." You won't get that now, would you? And half the class will get up and follow her out the class. Can you imagine that now? Oh my goodness, all those children would be suing now. But yeah, she'd shout it out, but things like that. So things were different. And there's a lot of silly safety stuff, particularly in England now. It's a ridiculous place. It's cotton wool, they call it, or snowflake, or helicopter parents, where it's all safety, but to the detriment of the children, because the children don't learn fear factor. And I still say that's why you get all these accidents with people hanging off cliffs to do selfies and whatever. They just haven't learnt like precaution. And we used to have, when I was little, what they called public information films. And you'd see it, some on telly, but some you would go and watch on a big projector for an afternoon at school, or for an hour at school. And there was quite a lot, and I'm sure if I've got any English viewers watching later, put down the ones you remember, or if you remember some other ones below. And the school ones would be things like in black and white, because that was the telly in my days, all black and white, and the films were black and white. You'd have two children and they'd be playing with a kite, flying a kite, and then they would fly it and it would go and get stuck up on an electric pylon, and then one would start climbing up the pylon. You know where this is going. And then the other child would go, "Oh, be careful!" And the boy would fall down and he'd be electrocuted. It's fear factor. We was what, about 8, 9 watching these? And then what else was there? Oh, one where again two children would be playing, and they'd be playing on the railway lines, and the train would be coming, and they're like just pulled them off just in time. A man would come and pull them off like that. It's like little horror films, and I've watched a few back a little while ago. I looked them up on YouTube. Put in, I think, public information films of the 70s or something like that. They might come up. Another one was a man in a raincoat, because they always wore raincoats, came up, and he was he's saying, "Ah, children, do you want some sweeties? And I've got some puppies. Do you want to come and see my puppies?" And then he's like, "Right, come and get in my car." And the child would start to get in the car, and the friend would run up and go, "No, you must never go in a car with a stranger." So that was all we kind of got. And then the adult ones on TV was, oh, there was a man and a woman cartoon, and the woman was really big. Was her name Flo? And he was skinny. An old man, was he called Sid or something? I can't remember now. And they'd be looking out to sea, sitting on the beach, and then they'd see a man in the sea doing this, and they went, "Oh, he's waving," and they'd wave back, and all this, and then in the end they go, "Oh, maybe he needs help. Ring for the Coast Guard," that kind of thing. So yeah, they were all we got, that kind of warning. But as I said, they were quite horrific, but maybe that worked. Horrific, like they've stuck in my mind. There was one film we saw at school like that, and it did scare me and a lot of my friends. And it was a longer film. It was like a small story. And what they had there was two children had gone to school, a brother and a sister. And you see the mum saying bye-bye, have a nice day, all this kind of thing. And they're at school. And then while they're at school, the mum goes out shopping, and she gets hit by a car. She's walking and crossing the road, I think, and she gets hit by a car. And I can't remember quite how it goes, but basically the children get this woman meets them or something, or the teacher says you have to go with this lady because your mummy's hurt, and they go to the hospital, and I think they see her in the hospital and she's got bandage on her head or something. And they said, because no one can look after you, I think daddy's working, or daddy's working too much or something. So you have to go and live with this family for a while. And it's telling you about foster. If something happens to your parents, you can be fostered. Me and my friends were all like, oh, I hope mummy's all right. Oh, daddy's all right. Oh, this kind of thing. It freaked us out. And I think the foster parent took them to see the mum in hospital, and then the dad visits them, but he's too busy to look after them. And yeah, that was like, oh, that's a bit scary. Yeah, as I say, things are different, aren't they? And things like you could eat loads of sweets and it was all right. And someone said to me once, yeah, in wartime, the children used to go and play on all the rubble and the ruins, and yeah, they'd fall down. And I think most children broke an arm at some stage, but they all lived through it and they all went through it. Dangerous games. And I was talking on Monday about playground games that we used to play at school, like recess games, and they were so violent and dangerous, and but everyone survived, everyone's here now. So what do you think about that kind of thing? Let me know in the comments below if you're watching later. Tell me like all the mad things you did and survived, or the games you played, or these kind of things. But as I say, you learn through experience. So, and if you don't do something wrong, you can't learn. So yeah, so I think I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I hope you really enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me, either now or later. If you made it to the end, how can we get you to put something on the end? Just put I did it or something like that in the comments, so I know if you actually made it to the end. So I'm going to leave it here for now. I wish you all a very happy day, and until next time, Meraki.